There's a whole bunch of stuff in this, man. Before I get this lesson started, this expose, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakagodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, whom I learned from in the Shalom, to hope elect, taking its truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your brother Radah. Salakia, bidding the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. Salakia for that. This is your brother Radah. So listen to all the stuff they're saying. We're going to get a couple precepts, mainly the one out of Daniel chapter 8 I want to focus on. And I want to show you what this dude and the other Edomite dude is saying to the military. Show you the contrast between how, well, it's prophetic how the Edomites are responding, the lower level so-called white people. But they're, again, you got to see how though they are following down the path of prophecy, because this is dividing the nations, civil war will come, second Ezra 15 and 16. But they're void of any understanding within themselves of what prophecy says, which this is to show you the weakening hold that this group of people has on the earth, man. That they really are in their position because the Most High put them there. It's not because of anything on their own power. Let them speak, and then we'll read some comments, okay?
This is training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military, because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city with an incompetent governor, stupid governor.
That to me was the most scary part of the entire speech. I mean, there was a lot of rambling, there was a ton of lies, but the scariest part was when the president talked about using the military and using our cities as a training ground for the United States military. Now, the military has done training in...
Let's look at some of the comments. That's what I put. What most Americans do not understand is America is already over. It will collapse along with it. The dollar, the digital currency, will be imposed, then the RFID chip. Prophecy has already recorded this. It's over. And then I posted 2nd Ezra 15, but look at what people are saying. We are underreacting. He's correct. But even when they react, it won't be the correct response. He wants a civil war so he can suspend all elections. See, it's just all this goofiness, right? Absolutely. We are under attack. Why are we not responding accordingly? Where is that famous armed militia to stop government tyranny? Why is he bragging about using the military? I mean, but look, this is the state of these people. And this is the race of people who is basically on the top of the food chain. And this is the best they can come up with when they see their own rulership being revealed right in front of their eyes. They have absolutely no biblical understanding. None. And these are the people that are on top of us. We are on the bottom of these people, you guys. This is wild, man.
Cities before, but that's not what I think he's talking about here. He's talking about using the military in ways that we should not see in America. And I'm very worried about this.
That's exactly what he's talking about.
I think that the whole part of bringing these generals and admirals back here was to discuss this type of thing. And it should scare us all. This is something that we just don't do in America. We have police forces to fight crime, and we should be putting money into those police forces, not sending.
And so let's go back to the top when I posted this. So what does it say? 2nd Ezra. I left this on this page. 2nd Ezra. That was a typo. 14 through 19. Woe to the world, and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, swords in their hands. For there shall be seditions among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. That's an aspect of this that's going to happen. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. That's another aspect. That's your martial law. 15 and 16 is your unrest and your civil war. 17 is your martial law. And what is 18? Look at this. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. That's your chaos. Look at 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that eventually turns into cannibalism. It's just all out chaos. Jacob's trouble, the worst time in human history.
I sat through Donald Trump's entire speech to the generals, so you don't have to. And these are my takeaways of what I can only describe as a poison.
And I want to pull Elder Apostle Tahar's take. He's commenting, he's lambacking off of another brother from GMS. And I want you to see the contrast to the apostle, to the prophet, to the prophets, and what they're saying compared to how these Edomites. Now, these Edomites' reaction is correct. Hear me correct. They're responding according to prophecy, because this is dividing the nation and it's going to turn them against their leaders. That's as much as they're going to be able to do. As far as them having any understandable, wise, discernible perception or vision of what's going on, according to prophecy, they don't have it. And that's the part that is causing us to narrowly look upon these people, like it says we would do in Isaiah 14, that we will say, this is the man that caused the war. This is we're doing it now. Like, you guys don't have the answer. They don't have the answer. Listen to what she's saying. What she's saying is good as far as them being divided, and it's turning them against their own leaders. They're watching the collapse of their rulership, but that's as far that they can't go any further than that. They have no capacity to understand biblical prophecy the way it's been written concerning the destruction and the fall of Esau, Edom. They are void of this, you guys. And then when you see how void they are of this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and then you see their position in the earth, you see they don't deserve it. Well, how come you're in rulership when you don't even understand how to interpret the scriptures? You don't even know how to discern the signs of the times. They can't discern, you guys. It's a trip.
Shit, word salad sandwich because of the amount of dangerous, detestable crap that came out of his mouth that sounded really more like the ramblings of a lunatic. He starts off addressing this room full of generals by saying, I built the military. Then he calls them central cast members and says, we won every war. World War I, World War II, everything after, everything before, and then we went woke and changed it from the Department of War to the Department of Defense, and we're going to fix that. Keep in mind that some of the worst things that he's saying on this list are the most flippant and offhand. Like, he doesn't want us to notice or even catch that he might have said it, or notice that it was even important in the first place. We are awakening the warrior spirit that built this nation, taming the great plan.
Look at that third that response right here by Bianca. So basically, the U.S. president declared war declared war on the U.S. Are we great yet? I feel like I spend every single day just trying not to completely crash out. The enemy is within the White House. I saw something like this before. It was hard to understand because the video and grainy, and grainy and degraded. And also in German. Sky News had to pull away halfway through Pete Hegseth's speech and apologize for the rhetoric. The only channel on live TV app on Roku that had it was Fox, and Pete's speech made me think World War III, and Trump's made me think Civil War II. And, well, that's a good take. And hell of a lot more violence against women and immigrants. So look.
He says there's record recruitment in the military now that he's president. It will be.
If you didn't see Hegseth and Trump talk to the staff generals, though,
And I want to get parts of Hegseth's speech and then show you in prophecy how this shows you that the so-called white man is the little horn mentioned in the book of Daniel. That the little horn isn't what Renaissance Western Christianity tried to say, that the little horn in the book of Daniel is the Antichrist, and that the Antichrist is one man and he's half Nephilim and half human. That's all bullshit. The little horn is talking about the group of Edomites that established America.
And whatever it was basically them telling all of these officers, if you don't fall in line, you're going to be gone. We just had an alcoholic Fox News host and a bone spur having, draft dodging, fat piece of shit tell all of the top brass in the military have to.
And that's the news host. I guess that guy was a news host, but now but now he's in a position of authority, kind of like how you saw Bill Gates just come out of nowhere. He was a computer geek, and then all of a sudden, he's got all of this authority, which is showing you that the way Esau structures his power, his government, is not the way he presents it to you. That he's got people positioned that are actually people in positions of power, that they're all playing a character role in other industries, and then when it's time to move them around the chessboard for them to get into their true position, that's when they do it. This is showing you. So this guy, he was always meant for this position. Don't get it twisted. He just started off in the public eye on a different position, and then when it came time for them to put him here, he was put here. Don't think this is some accidental thing. But what this guy said about him, that's what his perception is of what they showed him on television. He was a news broadcaster, which would fuck with your head. But in actuality, this guy is for this role. Now listen to what he says.
Leaders who have given decades to our great republic at great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
That's like a fucking slap in the face. The amount of Edomite men that are in the audience that have been, operating in this system, they're not righteous either. But they've had this position for decades. Some of them multiple decades, right? And this dude is saying what he's saying because there's a major transition coming. Now look at some of the comments. People are freaking out about this shit, bro. I can't wait for Ken Klipperstein to publish the anonymous opinions of the generals in attendance. This could have been a signal text. They're saying this could have been they could have done this in email. How many people in their 60s wish their parents and grandparents were alive? My dad, that served in Korea, was stuck behind enemy lines for a whole. But why were you guys in the Korean War? All they see, the entire patriotic identity of America is what? Is this race of people going to war, veterans, Hollywood movies, my grandfather and my grandmother, their whole fucking racial identity is them thinking they're the good guy that's been at all these wars all over the earth. Rather than them seeing themselves for what they have always been, is the bloody man, the biblical Edomites, who were blessed with the sword, and everything that they would obtain, they would live by the sword. We're going to pull that prophecy. See, when they talk about themselves, it's this, it's this legendary tale. It's this historical moment. It's this patriotic fucking thing. Listen, let's just read this again. How many people in their 60s wish their parents and grandparents were alive? My dad, that served in Korea, was struck behind enemy lines. No, you're the enemy in another man's nation. That's what's the he never keeps at home. Look at this. This is what the prophecies. He never keeps at home. Watch this. Watch. Now let's compare what Habakkuk says about Esau. Look, Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine. What's the wine? His philosophies, his doctrine, his worldview, what he thinks inside of his mind to be correct. This is how he transgresses. This is how he sins. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He doesn't mind his own business, you guys. He's always in somebody else's house. He's always looking at other races and telling them how they're supposed to act. He's always going into other countries. He's always stealing their shit, their resources. He's always trying to change their religion. He's always trying to make them dress and cut their hair a different kind of way. He's always trying to tell the other nations of the earth how they're supposed to behave. This is talking about the white man, Esau, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations. There goes your Korea and heapeth unto him all people. You see that? So look, Habakkuk 2:6. So shall these, talking about the nations, talking about the Israelites, when Yahweh turns everything around, shall not all these take up the parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? They are the thief. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? You're in debt. Your entire financial system is a debt-based system. You owe everyone you've borrowed from. You owe everyone you've stolen from, and yet you're telling everybody they got to pay you back. Who is this talking about? It's talking about the so-called fucking white man. And listen, look. Oops. Where do we go? Oh, man. I gotta go back. So Salakia. Let's go back to that. Because I want to go back. Man, I hope I can find it. Okay, cool. It was right here. I want to go back to that guy that was talking. I hope I can find it. Because I want you guys to see right here. Boom. Mary Blair. So this is a woman. So listen, man. Look at this, bro. It's so innocent. Oh my gosh. When you have an American white indoctrinated mindset, when you're a so-called African American, I'm using those bogus titles. When you're a Mexican American, when you're a Puerto Rican, Chinese, Japanese, anybody American, when you're a white American, look, let's read this together, everybody. How many people in their 60s wish their parents and grandparents were alive? My dad that served in Korea was struck behind enemy lines for a whole winter. Oh, what was he doing there, bitch? He was doing this. He was in someone else's fucking backyard when he didn't belong there, trying to increase things that didn't belong to him for the government that had no business being there.
Leaders who have given
when
decades.
you don't know prophecy, and all you have known your whole life is what the white man says is such, which is his wine, his philosophy. How many people in their 60s wish their parents and grandparents were alive? My dad that served in Korea was stuck behind enemy lines for a whole winter. They stacked the dead to keep warm. They ate rats to survive. He was just 20 years old. He had demons for the rest of his life. Why, though? I know one thing he would not do, raise arms against U.S. citizens. But why was he raising arms against the Koreans? Why was he in Korea fighting the Koreans? Because it says right here. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. What's that wine? Their philosophy. What's the philosophy?
To our great republic.
The philosophy is somehow, somewhere, we were told the Koreans are our enemies. What the fuck have the Koreans ever done that the white man hasn't done? You see how Esau, the so-called white man, has literally accused everything and everyone on planet Earth. Everything is a threat. Everyone is a threat unless it's him. And these prophecies are talking about him, but when his own people speak about themselves, they speak from that place of wine, the intoxication of that wine. And they are under the influence of their own fucking wine. They are drunk on their own deception. This bitch believes that the enemy was the Koreans, yet she's complaining about what her own government did to her. Who the fuck is it? Is it the Koreans or the so-called white man? It's the so-called white man.
At great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. We would thank you for your service. But I suspect, I know, the overwhelming majority of you feel the opposite. These words make your hearts full. You love the War Department because you love what you do, the profession of arms.
Okay, War Department and profession of arms. Now let's go. Let's get it. We're going to get these two precepts. Let me see. Genesis 27 and 40, all right? Let's go in the blue letter. Genesis 47, baby. Look, man, you got to understand. You got to understand who Esau Edom is. You have to understand who the so-called white man is according to the scriptures, not according to what Hollywood, not according to rock and roll, not according to porno movies, not according to the news, not according to sports, not according to school history, not according to your neighbors, because even they are all indoctrinated. You need to understand who he is according to Salakia 27, according to what the scriptures say. Okay? You got to understand who he is, man. Now, let's find it. Okay, so this is where Esau and Jacob get the blessing. And Jacob gets the blessing that Isaac thought he was going to give to Esau, but this is how the Most High had already planned for it to come out. And so Esau gets his blessing, but he's actually rejected. And when Esau heard the words, let me go up one. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? That was Isaac. That was Jacob. And I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightfully named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. No, you fucking sold it to him for a bowl of beans. And behold, lentils, now he hath taken away my blessing. And no, the Most High gave it to him, not you. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said to Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord. And all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. And this is where Esau is at now. He has the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. He has all that. And by thy sword shalt thou live. By thy sword shalt thou live. What's a sword? What's a sword? What's a sword? By thy sword? What is it? Sword, knife, tools for cutting stone. This is your weapons. That goes into your weapons. Shalt thou live. To live, to have life, to remain alive, to sustain life, to live prosperously. So by his weapons, this is how he lives prosperously. Live forever, be quickened to alive, be restored to life or health. You see, this is everything that this so-called white man does is his war. So when he's telling you, Salakia, I gotta keep coming out. Let's go back. Come on. When he's telling you,
you do the profession of arms. You love the War Department because you love what you do, the profession of arms.
You gotta understand, bro. This is deeper than people realize. This is biblical prophetic. This is in their DNA. And the higher you go up in the rankings, literally, the more of this they understand about themselves. They're not going to tell you this shit. They don't want you to know they're Esau. This is why they changed their name to white in 1681. They don't want you to know this is how they live. This is how they live. And so when you live by the sword, everybody else becomes a threat to you. And that is your doctrine of wine. That is how you transgress wine. That is your doctrine. And they become drunk, and through their technology and through their media, they get you to agree with them. And you can be from another race, bro, and agree with these bastards going all over the earth, treating everybody like shit. because you think you're a fucking American. It is insane how much power they've been given, but it's been given to them by the Most High.
You are hereby liberated to be an apolitical, hard-charging, no-nonsense constitutional leader that you joined the military to be.
Are only hours away from a government shutdown.
During his speech to U.S. military generals and admirals earlier today, President Trump really hammered on the concept that we are at war with ourselves. He says, quote, "The cities that are run by the radical left Democrats, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. This is going to be a major part for some people in this room." Again, he was speaking to...
And this goes into 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 16 and Isaiah 19. I will set the Egyptian... Let's just get it in the blue letter. I will set the Egyptian against himself. Whew. The burden of Egypt. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud that goes into the chariots, the so-called UFOs, and shall come into Egypt. And yes, that is going to happen. For those of you who are hard of hearing, that is exactly what's going to happen. Yahweh Shai is going to eventually approach Esau in a fleet of chariots known as the UFOs, and that's going to be the war in heaven mentioned in Revelations 11. That's also Armageddon. Yahweh Shaphat, the day of the Lord. Joel chapter 3. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one another. And we know this did not happen in Noah's time. They didn't fight each other. This is talking about America is this Egypt. Okay, and this is what's going to fucking happen. This is going to be the right against the left, the up against the bottom against the up. That's what's going to happen. And they are the bottom against the top against the bottom. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. That's going into what you see being spoken of. Salakia. So we're going to go right here.
During his speech to U.S. military generals and admirals earlier today, President Trump really hammered on the concept that we are at war with ourselves. He says, quote, "The cities that are run by the radical left Democrats, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. This is going to be a major part for some people in this room." Again, he was speaking to top military brass. It's a war too. It's a war from within. And throughout the statements today, he would say that, or, quote, "We're under invasion from within." At one point, he said, "I told Pete Hegseth, we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military." Again, addressing the generals and admirals there, he said, quote, "This is going to be a big thing for the people in the room because it's the enemy from within, and
that also goes into your Jacob's trouble.
we got to handle it before it gets out of control. It won't get out of control once you get involved." And then in wrapping up today, he said, quote, "I will never hesitate to defend our people from threats of violence from the horrible plague that is taking place from within."
And he's accusing that's the part that he's accusing Jacob. And that's Jacob's trouble. And that's found in Jeremiah 30. Okay, deliverance from captivity promise. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, "Thus speaketh Yahweh, the power of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken to thee in a book. For lo, the day comes, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah." That's the northern and southern kingdom. Israel are the Latinos and Native Americans, and Judah are your so-called blacks, Jamaicans, Haitians, all that, right? Saith Yahweh. "And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah." Again, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Whenever Israel, the 12 tribes, are mentioned in prophecy, the split is always mentioned. This is how you know America and the Renaissance Western Christian Church and the people who are occupying Israel now. This is how you can tell they're all operating in a counterfeit doctrine, because they never quote scripture when mentioning the 12 tribes of Israel. They just say Jewish people. And that is not how the 12 tribes are addressed in future biblical prophecy. So they're speaking from ignorance, and they're speaking from wickedness, and they're lying. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and of not peace, as ye know, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail? Why are men going to be acting like this? And all faces are turned into paleness? Verse 7 tells you why. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. You need to understand how powerful this statement is. You need to go back in time and think of every bad time in history that was horrible. And this scripture, Jeremiah 30:7, says what's coming in the future, there's not going to be any equal to it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You got to understand that, you guys. It's seriously, seriously that bad. Okay? So, let's go here.
Number one purchaser of sex with children in the world as a country is the United States of America.
And this is also the hypocrisy of this man. I had to save this because I wanted to point out all the stuff that they're doing, and this is data. This is truth. The Most High knows this. Yahweh Shai knows this. The angels and the chariots, the UFOs know this, and even so do the Edomites know this, but they don't want to put this out.
The industry of purchasing sex from women and children, particularly minors, so 2/3 of this number is minors, is $152 billion a year tax-free, spent on buying sex from women, but predominantly children. A third of that $152 billion, $52 billion of it is spent inside the United States. We're the number one nation producing pornography for the world. We're the number one nation per capita per person by minutes spent per day viewing pornography. American Gen Z, 12 through 25, is the number one generation on earth viewing porn 19 and a half minutes per day. The country that self-exploits themselves more than any other country in the world is American women. American Gen Z is the number one demographic selling their body online. We lead the world in consumption of sex with children.
OnlyFans is ran and controlled by a so-called small hat. Their real name is Amalek. That's the head tribe of Edom. And Pornhub, the biggest porno internet site in the world, is also ran and controlled by a so-called small hat. Their real biblical name is Amalek, the head tribe of Edom. How is that possible? Because they are the wicked.
So buckle
Flip off of this and what the people in Russia are saying.
up, kids. This is going to be a bumpy ride. So 6 Russian officials were on Russian state TV, which is all Russians can do, citizens can do, is watch what's presented to them on Russian TV. And they were talking about the United States and what's going on right now. It was just recorded. And I wrote down...
Actually, before I let this play, I want to let this play last. Let me find that guy that was talking. Elder Apostle. Yes, okay.
Crab in a movie. You gotta see that movie.
This is
Little
the
Big
Elder
Man.
Apostle. Listen to this. He's
Place found in heaven. Pursuant to Revelation 12.
Choose foolishly to challenge us. They will be crushed.
The angels are the Yahweh Shai and the angels are gonna challenge you, and they're gonna destroy you. And this is pride. He's speaking with pride. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rock.
By the violence, precision, and ferocity.
hold on. Let me. Is it in minute mark 14? I think. Yeah. Okay. He says something, and you gotta show this in a.
These motherfuckers that are shooting up every goddamn thing, that's the American way, really. If you want to be honest, you came over here with you Homo sapiens and your guns. You came over here and attacked Gad, and Gad taught you how to fucking live. We don't want no fucking war. Fuck out of here, man.
We love peace for our fellow citizens.
This is it. Listen to what this guy's saying, and it's right out of the book of Daniel.
They deserve peace and they rightfully expect us to deliver it. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place.
No, if you want.
That's bullshit because they're the only ones that start war. Why is it? Because it says right here, look. It's in Daniel, bitch. Let me see. Hold up. I'm going to pull it up. You got to see this. You have to deal with Esau, the so-called white man, according to prophecy. And once you can do that, by peace, he shall make war. Let me see. It should be Daniel 8. I'm looking for it. Come on, Daniel. Nope. Let me see. Daniel. I'm saying it wrong. Daniel 8. It's in Daniel. There we go. Sorry about that. So look at this. This is Daniel 8:25. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And this goes into their bullshit democracy. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes. They're going to fight Yahushua when he comes back. And that goes into your space force. That's what the prophet was starting to talk about. Okay, but he shall be broken without hand. You guys need to understand, man, this race of people is all the way down to the bottom. The really nice ones that want to date you and have sex with you. They're like that now after they've conquered the world. But these people are, and you see what their rulership is doing. But he was talking about peace. Yet,
Or in the first place.
No, if you want something, you lie on a sovereign leader. Oh, he's killing his own people. Oh, he's bringing drugs.
that's what they did to Gaddafi.
Oh, he's doing this. We got to do something about that.
And that goes back into Habakkuk. He never keeps at home. And he never keeps at home. He's always in somebody else's. He never keeps at home. He never keeps at home. He's always in somebody else's yard lying about why he's got to be there to fix it. Could I come into your house and say to your family, hey man, your dad was doing some bullshit, and then while I convince you to turn against your father, I'm trying to do weird shit with your mom and weird shit with the daughter, and I'm stealing the family secrets, and I'm opening up the safe, and I'm taking the, I don't know, you got some expensive cattle maybe, or some hidden things, I'm stealing your most prized possessions. That's what the so-called white man does everywhere he goes. He tells the world through the news, these people have done something wrong. I have to go over there and fix those people. It's bullshit. Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine. And that's the wine. What he says is good and bad. Therefore it is. No, it's bullshit. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. He's taking everything from everybody, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And then he lies and tells you he's all about peace. Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And now we are coming to the end of that, and he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
We should do a surgical strike. Remember?
So I pray that this lesson was edifying. I'm going to cut it short, man. And I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and give double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who learn from, and a shalom to the hopefully elect brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits for the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.